Alright, but, back to the conversation we were on to for a sec. Yeah, they have the same meaning, and that is an oddity about the uh, Asian languages, at least Chinese and Japanese. Korean is its own, but Chinese and Japanese, yeah, they can both. Oh, Beatrice, hello, long time no see. um, of sorts. Yeah, sorry, it's been weird lately. It's oh other thing I've got a surprise of sorts. Got something in the mail today, or one of the days, yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which one. The day's been a blur. I ordered this a while ago. Oh, cool. It's a Jill plushie from the Valhalla store. I want to open it up on stream for you guys. Bit noisy, so bear with me. But I wanted to see how they were made. A bit more understanding of. You see, we got a little shaker bottle here. Oh, it's a magnet. I didn't know this part, but she's got her little mixer bottle, and it's a magnet. It's pretty cool. All right. So, all right. A bit different than the one I've got. Put it over here, next to Ryder there. But this is a neat thing. It's I've started up a little habit I got. When I order up some stuff, I don't do it very often, but if they have the option for like put a custom note for people, I say put a smile on the box, make somebody else's day. So like my little box, when like postman or whoever pick up the box, there's generally like a smile there or something like that, just to brighten up somebody else's day. Not necessarily mine, but somebody else's. And it's fascinating the way people come up with ways to do it. This is what they gave me. A little sticky note with the Jill Valentine on here. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep that one. I've had people with like, just put a smile on the box. My little comment has just a little squeak, semicolon, parentheses on the face. And some people just take it simply, they just a little smile face on the box, they scribble it. I've had another person print out like an entire full sheet of a big old yellow smiley face and just like smack it on the box. Other people have a little smiley face on the invoice, just simple stuff. Other people just, I had one guy put like some person put stickers, but those foam like googly eye stickers, those smiley faces on the boxes around there. It's fascinating, and I like just a little bit of joy it brings to the world. It may not be much, but it's something cool. Alright. So recently I've been into reverse engineering how stuffed animals and plushies work and what makes them tick. That one's actually a pretty good quality. A lot more than some normal ones, so I'm interested in how it works. Anywho, before we get too distracted though, let's get into the story. Where we left off, and Duno, if you're still here, we're in episode 7 of a very long series, so if stuff doesn't quite make sense, don't worry. It only mostly makes sense to me. We're still figuring shit out, and it's confusing, so just roll But we last left off. Um, we went over Kinto's backstory. He met Beatrice on a Italian submarine in Rockanjima. Um, and that was that. Then we went and talked to Maria about her version of Beatrice. And Maria believes she's another Saint Maria of sorts because she didn't have a father, and that led her down a very twisted line of thought. Though, logistically speaking, one that makes sense from a certain standpoint. And then we got talking to Leon here about his or her history and how the realities they are overlapping. They don't quite meet. They're overlapping. And how Leon, we don't know its gender, but we are suspectful that Leon is Kinzo's daughter and granddaughter. And technically the third Beatrice of sorts. Like I said, it gets complicated. Which we just told them, we just found out, and we just let them know. So I think that's where we left off. So at that point, let's keep going, because the only way we got to move is forward. So what's next on the agenda for us, Will? So Leon had what it took to learn everything. A perfect piece to be your partner, wouldn't you say? I'll continue my reasoning. I've talked about the dead cat. They're talking about the Schrodinger's cat. You open the box and the cat's either alive or dead. That gets referenced a fair amount. It's not literally a dead cat, though. Very true. Next up is the living cat. The only one who killed the Beatrice of 1986 is the one who created her. There are tons of hints. If you think about it, they've been coming since back when Beatrice was running the games. I've recognized that it was a hint, but it's like, yeah, you're trying to tell me something. No idea what, but you're telling me something. That's true. In the fourth game between Beatrice and Battler, Beatrice's origin became clear. Oh yeah, you made the comment last time on here that Cannon's body never exists. And I got thinking that, yeah, Cannon's body is always the one that's missing, or some such. I don't know why. The only thing that could logistically make sense was Cannon is an alter ego. Somebody pretends to be Cannon, which... But that doesn't quite make sense, because I know... I can't say I know, because there were interactions between Cannon and other people. Cannon was generally off to the side. Hell, in the first game, Battler helps Cannon moving the fertilizer in the front of the mansion. That was how they were introduced. It tipped over and he's picking it up. Battler comes out and helps him. Then later, or I think before that, Battler was down by the beach playing with the cousins, and that's when Shannon came in. Or was that the second game? So they are... Yeah. Oh yeah. Beatrice sitting there just laughing at me, struggling, pitiful human. Never understand the crazy concepts of witches. And I'm only going based off of memory, so semi-faulty. Just too much to remember. Anyway, I'll keep going and figure it out as we go. That's true. In the fourth game between Beatrice and Battler, Beatrice's origin became clear, and at that point, I learned who Beatrice was, and about that person's heart. Beatrice the person, but the fourth game is a very important one. It's also the weirdest one. What do you mean by heart? The motive. The reason why Beatrice had to commit a game-like crime on October 5th, 1986. Putting even her own fate on the line. Impressive. So, you figured out the whodunit and the whydunit as early as the fourth game. Then what about the howdunit? Once you know who the culprit is, theoring about the howdunit isn't impossible. Those linked closed rooms in the third game were a pretty nice job. Almost made me feel like applauding. And who am I? From the end of the fourth game. The culprits who can kill everyone at midnight on October 5th, no matter where they are. By that moment, it's possible to form a certain sort of hypothesis. You might call that the other treasure of the Golden Land. Oh. So you say you can reach all the answers by the fourth game? In other words, with just Beatrice's game? It's possible. After that, Lambda Delta's game and Battler's game were filled with even more hints. As is this game of yours. Well now, why don't you stop stalling for time and just tell me, who is the culprit? I was expecting somebody to burst in, "Hold on, I object," or something at that moment. Yeah, I was right. Ish. At that moment, though there hadn't been anyone but them in the chapel, small footsteps rang out. Was it Cannon? That silhouette slowly walked up to Will and Burncastle and gave a small bow. So, you've come. Did you call this person here? Yeah. Who done it? How done it? And why done it? I've understood this person's motive. And are you going to give up just because he's found out your motive? There's no concrete evidence, right? You can make a flashy fight of it with red or blue. That's not what this person wants anymore. They nodded slightly. Their wish was to be noticed. Once that happened, they had no need for trivial excuses or pointless word games. If they just wanted to be noticed, then don't be so secretive about everything you do. I think it's also Nox's 7th? Or maybe it's the 4th. Nox is something or other. No secret tunnels. But yeah, so Nox's rules don't apply. Because you've got a secret military base with a secret tunnel underneath. Yeah. I believe that I understand your motive. Your heart. I'm going to describe it now. I called you here to listen and correct me in your own words if I've gotten anything wrong. Yeah, it's, I did notice, here, I'll point it out for you. Shannon. Oh, come on. Sorry, I know something there. Yeah, there is one clue, if you can call it that. Their necktie. Cannon has a purple gem, same one as Shannon, on their little tie thing. That's about it. They also have similar eyes. I can't quite tell. But other than that, I got really nothing. Because if you look, Genji, bow tie, nothing. They're the only ones with that little thing. I noticed that the other day, but other than that, it's... And there's, I guess, other clues. There's themselves as another, without any clues. Define clue. It's the only thing I can think of that could make sense. I could be flat out wrong, going down another rabbit hole that leads nowhere. But it could theoretically be possible, but there's also the practicality of it not working, because Cannon and Shannon have to be in separate places at separate times, or the same time, and that would require a full wardrobe change in cases, which is also convoluted. I don't know. There's like pieces there, but they don't match up. There's something wrong. I can't tell what. I think I'm hung up on something. Anyway, the two of them nodded to each other once more. The other one is Will here trying to talk to Shannon and Cannon at the same time, and then Shannon doing that weird Game Master no thing. That's a big red flag. Hey, numbnuts, there's something here. Yes, I know something's there, but what? The two of them nodded to each other once more. In your 4 games, I found your message. And in 3 games with different masters, I was able to picture the strange sort of fate that must have toyed with your life. And one of the other things is talking about the motive. If we go with that, here, I'll pull it back up just so it's easier to work with. Okay, motive 1, Kinzo. He's dead. He's out of the picture. Kraus, Natsuhi, Jessica. Kraus and Natsuhi, their motive would be the keeping Kinzo alive to hide the fact that he has died in order to fund their bankruptcy, their lack of money. Jessica doesn't give a shit about any of that. She just wants to leave. I doubt it's Jessica. Natsuhi is heavily invested in the Ushiromiya family, even though she isn't truly a male Ushiromiya heir. And Kraus is actually a coward. I don't think it's any of them. They don't really have the motive, though they are the ones who own the mansion and are able to access and have enough knowledge about it that way. But I wouldn't put it past them. They don't really have a strong enough motive. Eva most definitely does. She has drive out the wazoo. She could be a potential one. Hideyoshi, he's a supportive husband in Eva's game. He was an accomplice to her alibi. But other than that, he hasn't really done much. He's just kind of there. I don't really see much of a motive for him. And then there's George. He has the capacity to it, but doesn't have the motive unless something is done to him, like kill Shannon. At that point, he would take action, but preemptively doing stuff, I don't think he would do it. Rudolph, Kiri, and Battler. Battler is a unique case. I'll ignore him. Kiri, her goal was Rudolph. She has that. Her motives are fulfilled, and she was just making do a thing. She went on very clearly about envy and all that, so she got to where she's wanted to be. She has Rudolph, who she wanted. Rudolph needs money for his business, but he's been planning around doing it for the by blackmailing Kraus to get the money to do his motive, which is currently working out. I wouldn't necessarily put it past him, but it's a weak motive. It's not strong enough to kill everybody, I don't think, so it's not them. Rosa and Maria. Maria is also a special case, but Rosa, she isn't quite right in the head. None of the Utramias are, but she has the capacity for it, most definitely. Like something cracking and then just going on something. And the fact that Maria is the author of the notes that survived the island is a very important thing, I believe. In and of itself, it could be Maria as well. And then there's the servants. No, just flat out no. He's just the cook. Genji and Kumasawa are the old servants. They have enough knowledge of the mansion to do things. Kumasawa, I don't have enough knowledge about. She's just the old lady. Nice old lady who talks about mackerels. I don't know enough about what motive she could have, so I don't know what it would be. Genji has been a faithful servant his entire life, and very straight-laced. He has definitely the ability to pull off any of them, but I wouldn't know what his motive would be. Recognition? He's already recognized by the entire family as being the head butler. So I don't know what his motive would be. Then the other ones are Shannon and Cannon, who are a mixed bag of mysteries, whatever. And then you have Nanjo, who was a lifelong friend of Kinzo, who technically could have a motive for the money of the Ushimi family, but he's been years, decades even, so it's unlikely that it would be him. He doesn't need it. Yeah, no, I think Beatrice is the mix. The other thing is, Cannon and Shannon are from the orphanage that Kinzo has set up. That was an odd little tidbit that I remember, but I don't know what that means. And they had a whole game about it. I know, I remember, I read that. I was there. I don't get it. Tracking it back down. In the 6th chapter, they had a game. They had to, only one could survive. Only one could have their wish granted. From a logistical standpoint, if they were two people getting together with two other people, Jessica, Cannon, George, Shannon, there is no conflict. It has no need to exist. And then the third one, technically, Battler and Beatrice. All three of them are separate, as far as I know, but I know something's weird. I don't know. I had a game over this in the 6th chapter. I remember. And I was definitely with Jessica. Why does any of this have to happen in the first place? And Beatrice is a concept. Or Leon, the third Beatrice. But that doesn't apply to any of the other games. The third Beatrice is dead. That is the case in all the other games, as far as I know. Though technically she still could potentially be alive because it wasn't confirmed. It was just heavily implied and talked about. Tricky games, you gotta be careful of them. But it was Ken and Shannon and Beatrice in the last game. The Beatrice in that game was a concept. A role, somebody who possessed somebody else. That's who that was. I don't know. I could understand it, but there's too many red herrings. There's too many red herrings in this game. All the witch and miracles and magics, it muddles everything up. And I can't sort it out. Anywho. And the note here. Wanting to be noticed. The only ones who wanted to be would want to be noticed would be potentially Kumasawa, Goda, Canon, and Maria are the only ones I think would, maybe Eva too if you want to go with that route. Leon doesn't remember Canon or Shannon. Alright. Then would Canon and Shannon have been twins? From Kinzo? And then one of them was tossed off the cliff and the other one survived? And it's the Schrodinger's cat for which one survives? Again, too many red herrings. Can't keep it all track. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going, try and pick something else up. In your 4 games, I found your message, and in the 3 games with different masters, I was able to picture the strange sort of fate that must have toyed with your life. It left me speechless. In every game you die without revealing that truth to anyone. Having this person confess in this empty chapel might be pointless. However, even so, I believe it will give her some sort of salvation. Her. Beatrice? People are only saved when someone understands them. No one understands this pitiful witch even after her death, even years later, and including the man she wanted to understand her most. It's about time someone forgave her. I'll just fucking say who you are. At the end of the 5th game, Battler finally understood. However, it took him so long, and he didn't make it in time. So even though she's alive, here and now, Battler cannot save her. So, Battler isn't here at Beatrice's funeral. He won't come. He won't make it in time. This is Beatrice's funeral. You will confess, the Divine Master will hear, and I will forgive you. That's supposed to be Battler's job, but he didn't make it in time. So, you'll have to settle for me. And Beto gave Battler so many hints too. Lam also gave that idiot a ton of hints. I even got a good laugh in at Battler's game of repentance for missing so much. But I won't make anyone laugh. I just dispassionately carry out your funeral. There's a difference between hints and facts. No more talking from you. That's my job. If you're ready, let's begin. No one will rush you. Berncastle is closed off time for eternity until your funeral ends. You have as much time as you need to prepare yourself emotionally. The silhouette slowly shook its head. It had come here because it was already prepared. Will nodded to show he understood. Then the two looked into Berncastle's eyes, and Will spoke out clearly. This is the culprit. Umineko no Nakokoro Nichiro, Nocturne of Truth and Illusions. And one of the biggest ones is the story of Angie. In her story, she was running around and had, like, secret bank boxes around for everybody. What? Yet another person that hasn't existed. But on that last point, the Angie story about everybody having a secret bank box that was given to them by Beatrice for like $2 million or whatever the hell it was. That's a huge irregularity, but it doesn't fit with any of the story we've been told. It's completely outside of it. I'm willing to bet money it wasn't. But nobody says why or how or if or anything about that. It just is. I don't know. Everyone keeps saying the culprit, so there's one person. And yeah, accomplices would have to have been, not technically, but I don't know. Listen, I am one, yet many. What I speak is our tale. However, this is a small world, sealed by glass and cork, with no one to hear. None shall lay eyes upon it, and my entire tale shall be sealed away, set adrift in the sea of my heart until it disappears amongst the seaweed. She is the message in a bottle. Where is this place? And who am I? Oh, then let me ask. Where do you want it to be? Who do you want to be? Any place, as long as it will wrap itself around me gently. Anyone, so long as I am treated kindly. Yes, for us. Before us. Where and who we are hardly matter. Saying shit like that really doesn't help you figure things out. Correct. For us, it's such a trivial matter. At least until that day comes to pass. Why must we be thrown in the path of a new fate? Fate's pronouncement was sudden and abrupt. It wasn't the fate I'd wished for. But it did make your heart pound. Where will the new fate take me? It doesn't matter where. So long as that place is kind to us. When we were brought to the temporary dwelling where sad, parentless children gather, was that a sign of God's salvation? Or a lure into the demon's game where the new fate would torment us? We have no way of knowing. And yet, we want to believe. We want to believe it was God's salvation sent to us. A sign of Fukuin, the good news, the gospel. But why me? I have no religion. Then it wasn't the gospel, but a demon's lure. And yet, we cannot go against fate. No, I am one yet many. I pray that the new fate brings us blessings. The time is 1976 AD in April. 10 years prior? At a time still too cold to be called spring. In a strange new land, we were tormented by the same stale air and drafts. Chapter 1, A New Life. In the magical world, Vergilia and Ranave are Beato's allies. Thus, in the real world, Kumasama and Genji are... Give me a moment. It's gotta be Maria. It has to be Maria. Is Genji. Vergilia is Kumasawa. I picked up on that one. That one was shoved in my face and then immediately swept under the rug. I remember that one. Couldn't quite place it. Then all of the demons are alter egos of the real people, the accomplices on the island. Ranave, I think, would actually be canon. Gap would be Shannon. Maybe it's more literal crossover. Kurosawa is Virgilia. Genji is Kinzo? The goldsmith? Maybe? I don't know. But they're all, personas of somebody else. Alternate perceptions of people. And the one who does that the most is Maria. Don't quite know anything more than that, but a lot of resemblances between a lot of people. Let's keep going, try and muddle through a bit more of this stuff. Those are the family rules. They may be strict, but I believe that the discipline you learn in this house will serve you well in the future. Yes, madame. The servants, who would start working this April, all called out in unison. The rules of the Ushimiya family are no more or less strict than those of the Fukuin house. However, we get paid a lot of money here. They also give us a lot of help in finding our next job. We work for the Ushimiya family, store up money, use their influence to get a job at a good company, and start on a new, happy life. That was the dream, and it was a very realistic one, held by all of us at the Fukuin house. Maybe. Hello, hello. However, not everyone can become an Ushimiya family servant. Only kids with a record of exemplary conduct and good grades are recommended. So, all of the kids who want to be sure of leaving the Fukuin house to live a happy life are feverishly devoted to their studies. That's enough for today. Tomorrow you start early. Make sure the lights are all out and at the appropriate time. That is all. Yes, madam. Thank you very much. After bowing until Natsuhi was no longer in sight, the new servants all followed the lead of one of the more experienced servants and raised their heads. Okay, we're done for the day. Starting tomorrow, you'll be following your shift schedule. Well, shit. They were ones I was having trouble placing. The madam is very strict about time. If any of you sleep in, it'll be my responsibility. So if you do, I'll kick you awake. Got it? Of course, this experienced servant was one of the older girls from the Fukuin house. She's been here for 2 years, apparently. How long has Shannon been a servant? I know it's, I think, over 10? I want to say it's 12. That's probably why all the other new servants, who are older than me, seem to know her well. That madame looks so strict. Dang, I'm tired. Giggle, giggle. By the way, who exactly is this kid? Why were you chosen to be a servant? The older servant pointed at me and asked the room at large, a dubious look on her face. No surprise, really. Huh? Cool? Well, thank you. I'm not being able to follow your lives lately, but I really appreciate you as a great streamer. Thank you. That means a lot, actually. I am not some starstruck whatever. I'm just some dude in a cabin in the middle of the woods streaming Japanese whatever. So, thank you. really. While also struggling with a puzzle that doesn't make sense. Alright. That was sound. Let me go a bit further, see if there's anything up. It's no surprise, really. Most of us become servants when we graduate middle school or high school. But I'm just starting elementary school. The others will be working as servants every day of the week, according to their standard shift schedule. However, on weekdays, I was going to go to the elementary school on Najima with my lady, only working on weekends and when I had free time. It was an exception among exceptions, something that had never happened before. It was clear at a glance that the others, who had obtained their positions after a rigorous selection process, didn't like the fact that I was here too. Both Madam and Genji-sama have told me that you are to put your studies first, but you're still getting paid. Doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, at least do it behind them. She didn't even try to hide her discontent. Is this kid really that smart? A child prodigy or something? I never heard anything about that. Well, that kid's supposed to get sick easily and is kept isolated most of the time. A total outsider to the rest of us, even back at the house. Now that you're here, you're part of the collective responsibility system. If you screw up, it's the same as everyone from the Fukuin house screwing up. Make sure you don't, okay? I nodded weakly. I'd never been threatened by someone this much older than me, and I was very frightened. Don't worry. I'll be there with you. Let's give it our all together. Okay? See, Shannon is here, but Shannon smiled at me as she spoke. Hey, hey. Welcome, welcome. Isn't Shannon scared too? This house looks pretty strict. No, there's nothing scary about it. You just thought it was scary, so it got scary. And then if I thought it was fun, would it get fun? Yeah, it would. So here, do. Let's give it our all with a smile. Shannon was my only friend in the Fukuin house. She was confident and popular, the complete opposite of me. I was embarrassingly dull-witted, and no one wanted to be my friend. I would never have made it through those days in the Fukuin house had it not been for her encouragement. So, I would probably make it through here too, with her by my side. Well, isn't it about time we got ready for bed? I've got work early tomorrow morning. Don't you have a different job? That's right. Unlike everyone else, I have to go to school. When I spend the night on Rockinjima, I have to get ready for school and wait for my lady at the dock. My lady looks like an energetic person. I hope you get along well. Do you think I will? I'm so scared of school. So nervous. I had grown used to life in the Fukuin house, so the more relaxed rules at school made life easy. But until I grew used to it, everything was new, and everything made me nervous. My new life on Rockinjima probably deserves an explanation. It was completely different from the comfortable yet stagnant life I'd lived at the Fukuin house. In addition to the time I spent as a servant to the Ushimiya family on Rockinjima, I also traveled to the elementary school on Najima on school days. It was the start of a time that was both rushed and busy, with hardly a moment to relax. Unlike the time I spent at the Fukuin house, I didn't get to sleep in the same bed every day. Half of the week, how old is Shannon? This is 10 years ago. That was the same sprite work as when we were normally on the island. old is George? There was sound of a new profile, so I'll try and see if I can find it. Guess it's her. Claire Vozoff Bernard, created by Berncastle to be the reader, or perhaps a substitute actor. Technically, she is a vessel used to personify Beato and her game. Therefore, she has no personality of her own. In that sense, perhaps she is not a person, but a tool. Her name signifies her position as the final guide in Beato's game. This is very odd. Unlike the time I spent at the Fukuin house, I didn't get to sleep in the same bed every day. Half of the week, I slept in the servant waiting room in the Rakunjima mansion. I would return from school with my lady, and go to the mansion, and work there as a servant. I would then stay the night, then go to school with my lady again the next day. My lady being Jessica. When I didn't have work, I would return to the dormitory on the Jima, where I could have some time to myself in the room that I was assigned to. There was an adult dorm mother who strictly controlled mealtimes and light out. Good morning, Earl Stanford. Welcome, welcome. I'm in the middle of something I don't really quite understand. Welcome. There was an adult dorm mother who strictly controlled mealtimes and lights out, but I was already used to that sort of life, so it wasn't hard for me. The rooms were slightly larger than average and housed 3 people each. However, either because of the number of people or some lucky chance, I was not given a 3-person room. Looks like we'll share a dorm room too. With Shannon by my side, I felt like I'd be able to manage well enough. Correct. Every year, new servants came for the Fukuin house, replacing some of the old ones. It was something Father worked out with the house all on his own. The rest of us weren't allowed to meddle. And after all, our family would strictly discipline those children without families and support them on their path to adulthood. A conundrum. Very much so. Well, more like just a big old mess. Swimming in red herrings and magical cat boxes. And brown tubes. And murder. Lots of murder. Maybe. Like I said, something I don't quite fully understand. After all, our family would strictly discipline these children without families and support them on their path to adulthood, which I always viewed as the rich Ushumiya family fulfilling its obligations to society. Maybe for you. What sort of kids came to serve the Ushumiya family? I'm sure they were serious. The cute kids of irreproachable conduct. It seemed to me that there were a lot of glaring hyenas among them. Let's just say they had high ambitions. They were pitiable children without families. All were determined to use this rare opportunity to launch their careers so that they could take control of their lives. Did all of them have to balance school and servant work? That must be tough. You wouldn't be able to get much work done. Before that child, there were no cases of a servant going to school while they worked. And to be honest, I was fairly surprised when that kid first came to greet me. So obviously young. The others were all around 16 or 18 years old. But that kid alone looked 10 years younger. That one extraordinarily young servant came to the family mainly for experience, so not much was expected of that child's ability as a servant. Indeed. You certainly couldn't rely on that kid as much as you could an adult, seasoned servant. Not very nice. To think that we would accept a child who hadn't even started school, no knowledge of housework, no practical experience, and not even finished with mandatory education. I don't know what father was thinking, but I always thought there was something clearly odd about it. I spoke to father about it. I asked if it might be better to wait for the servant to graduate middle school before starting here. And what did Kinzo say? Come on, we all know what he said. Oh, Beatrice! By that time, he was already a complete shut-in inside his study, obsessed with the occult. If you tried to talk to him when he didn't want you to, he'd yell and tell you to stop interrupting the journey of his mind. And father's decisions are absolute. However, the case of this particular child just didn't make sense. I even asked the Fukuin house about it. They said to ask Genji-san. I then asked Genji-san, and he said to ask the master. And then you asked the master, and he said Beatrice. No one knows the truth. Jessica was the only child on the island. The servants would often play with my daughter, but she wanted a friend of her own age, someone she could play with at home, as well as at school. I began to think that father employed the servant out of pity for Jessica. But if that were the case, why wouldn't he talk to us about it beforehand? We should be the ones to decide which friends are suitable for our daughter. Scary! Natsumi must have really hated taking her kid out in public. We should probably view this as an arrangement planned by Genji. Probably. Genji-san knew that me in this world carried grandfather's blood, so he probably arranged for that me to be summoned to Rokkenjima. Are you feeling okay now? It was a really big shock, that's all. I just feel a bit dizzy now. In this world, you're the successor. But if we move to a different world, you're a servant, or maybe a witch. You don't have a troubled fate. You do have a troubled fate. No kidding. I don't regret learning about it, but if I could forget it now, I would. Isn't it interesting? Even though you're a servant, you're actually an illegitimate child of the head. Isn't that romantic? Like some fairy tale. Romantic? Considering how Mom must have felt, I'm not sure what to think. True. In Natsuhi's eyes, the Leon of this world is nothing more than the baby she hated and was forced to raise. And in this world, she rejected that child. Natsui must adore her natural child Jessica a bunch more. A baby that doesn't share your blood is nothing more than a dirty, lukewarm sack of filth. Have some decency. Next time I'll be the one pinching your butt. Thank you, Will. I think I understand, more or less. And that's exactly why I need to be grateful to my mother. Just a bit. Just a hair. Thank you, Will. I think I understand, more or less. And that's exactly why I need to be grateful to my mother. She's raised me fairly all these years. Though at a probability so low, it'd take a miracle to happen. Animals are always brutal towards children that don't carry their blood. Lions do that too, don't they? They actually do. They can probably sketch out Genji's line of thinking. The Leon of this world is a true blood-related member of the Ushumiya family. He must have wanted to let that child live on Rokkenjima somehow. However, it wasn't as though he could just suddenly show up with Leon and tell everyone who this was. Yeah. Maybe he wanted me to live on the island until I was used to it, and then reveal everything when the chance presented itself. However, Leon of this world was not given special treatment. That silver ring doesn't actually exist. I wonder if that means grandfather never heard about me. That might mean that Genji never found a good opportunity to reveal the truth. Genji must have wanted to tell the truth one day. To tell that the orphan of Kinzo's beloved Beatrice was still alive. However, that was not an easy thing to say. Why wasn't it easy? Dummy, what would happen if Natsuhi found out? Oh, right. If Leon suddenly appeared, Jessica wouldn't be the successor anymore. Strictly speaking, Jessica wasn't the successor, but since she'd be able to select the future successor, it all came to the same thing. The more one learns, the less simple this tale becomes. Oh shit. There were some who celebrated my birth, and some who did not. Genji could only wait in silence for the proper day to reveal it all. Was it a tale hidden only within Genji's heart? Leon and Kinzo and Natsuhi and Kraus and Jessica and everyone else. None of them knew this tale. Oh yeah, more complicated than it has any right to be. Thus, the curtain slowly rises on this curious tale of the year 1976. Oh, I am one yet many. Why must fate abandon us and continue on its merry way? People only found the young servant strange for the first month. Natsuhi and Kraus's protests came to naught. After all, there was no actual harm in it. So why not indulge Kinzo's whim? Eventually, everyone grew accustomed and began to accept this slightly abnormal everyday life. However, it was not so for the other Fukuin servants, who were always close by and who believed that everyone should be treated equally. Their small bits of discontent over my special treatment began to accumulate as time went on. Nice work, Sawachi. How'd it go today? Madame was really pissed off. She was like running her fingers across the windowsills. Yeah, and getting on Tadachi's case for cleaning slow. Come on, give us a break. All of the kids in the Fukuin house are supposed to treat each other as family. Because of this, everyone hides their original names and uses their new blessed names. Maybe because the on character in the word Fukuin. And that character is almost always combined with at least one character from the child's original name to make their new name. Still, just giving a person a new name doesn't mean they'll accept it so easily. Boys and girls who have lived in isolation and through various trials sometimes feel as though their real first and last names are a bond that's worth holding on to. Duh. So, most of the Fukuin children hate their own names, calling each other by nicknames based on their original names. Of course, that's only done privately. When in the presence of the house director or other important people, only the blessed names are used. On the job, the blessed names are used, and off the job, informal nicknames are used. Everyone's very used to living with two names like this, so they're all comfortable with how the system works. It's just a standard hallway. It's on a mansion, man. Oh, you stink. Go take a shower. Hey, why is it so cramped in here? Can't get a bigger dorm if they have that huge mansion? Hey, Garashi-san. Why is Yasu the only one who isn't a three-person room? By Yasu, they probably mean me. I can't remember my parents at all, since they were gone as far back as my memory goes, but I was given the last name Yasuda. And apparently, my nickname comes from that. How should I know? Genji-san was the one who decides the rooms. I don't like it either. Yeah, seriously. Wouldn't it normally go 2 and 2? I mean, who exactly is Yasu anyway? It looks like that kid's job is going to school with my lady, or something. So what, is being a school friend a profession now? Don't make any sense. Of course, on days when I am given work, I return to the mansion right after school and work alongside all the others. I help out with caring for the garden and cleaning up the mansion. I can't do any jobs on my own, so I'm always just helping out. Maybe because I'm young, the adult servants are always kind to me. My fellow Fukuin servants don't seem too happy about that though. Don't you think Kumasawa-san is obviously soft on Yasu? It's like she's mistaken Yasu for her own grandchild or something. Why on earth does that kid get paid the same as the rest of us? I don't get it. I realize that you have school to worry about, but don't forget that you're a servant too, okay? You need to stop being a helper and learn to do work by yourself like the rest of us. We aren't going to let you take it easy forever, okay? I've been trying my best. However, I'm not very strong yet, so I can't carry heavy things. I can't carry a lot of things either. I can't fold clothes right, and I'm not good at using a dustpan. I just can't do it as well as everyone else. As my face turned red, I spotted Shannon, who was watching from the sidelines and not joining in. Shannon is my only ally. Unlike me, she can do everything well. However, she'll never pamper me. She'll show me how things are done, but she'll never steal my jobs from me. She really is incredible. I really want to be like Shannon, as soon as I can. She never talks behind people's backs, and no one talks behind her back. She's kind, and she gets along with everyone. I want to be like her, and she's always kindly watching over my efforts to become like her. Why did I end up here? I don't know. Though I'd just been muttering to the ceiling, Shannon gave me an honest answer. I guess there's no way to say it, except that it's part of God's plan. Is this another test from God? Yep. Think of it as a test to help you grow into a wonderful human being. After all, you're a special, chosen person. Am I special? Of course you are. After all, everyone else here is huge, but you are the only one special enough to be chosen young. Why am I the only one who's little? I can't do any jobs by myself. Everyone complains that I'm just here to play with my lady. And yet, Madame made it clear that I am not to think of my lady as a friend or speak to her in a casual manner. You may be 10 years younger than everyone else, but that means if you keep it up until you're the same age as the others, you'll be much more experienced than the new people who come later. Even Genji-sama will acknowledge your talents, and you'll become a leader who can teach the new kids who come from the Fukuin house. And then, I'm sure that everyone will respect you. By that time, even Madame the Master and Craft-sama will acknowledge your skills. That's your future. You mean like the ugly duckling becoming a swan? That might be it. After all, it was very unusual for you to be chosen as an Ushimiya family servant. In fact, that rumor might be true. And you might be the secret child of someone in the Ushimiya family. Shannon laughed, saying, "Wouldn't that be cool? And then you'd be super rich too." But that didn't seem quite right to me. After all, if that was the case, why have I had to live all alone, here in the Fukuin house? Shannon and the people like the house director are the only ones who will play with me. I don't have any other friends to play with, and I've spent all my time by myself in my isolated room. Maybe it's because I'm frail and always sleep a lot, but it has been lonely. Hey, Genji. Exactly how much did you know? You never talk about anything, but you've known everything since the beginning, haven't you? 19 years ago, you heard from Natsui that a servant had fallen from a cliff holding a baby. You went to the bottom of that cliff and realized that the baby was still alive, didn't you? I was not qualified to determine whether it was alive or dead. Then who was? The doctor, of course. What do you say, Dr. Nanjo? Are you certain? Is it alright for me to speak? If you are willing to tell the story yourself, then I ask it of you. Very well. That would be a motive. The rightful successor of the Ushirmiyos. Kraus and Eva and Rudolph all bickering over, and Rosa. I always forget her for some reason. All bickering over who gets the actual succession of Kinzo, when the actual true heir is ignored. That could be a motive to fulfill the wishes of Kinzo. But Kinzo's the one who doesn't have a will, so yeah, I don't know. Ignore my babbling. I was contacted by Genji-san immediately after the accident and asked to conduct an examination in secrecy. In secrecy? Why? Both the Beatrice of Kuadorian and her child were unregistered people who weren't supposed to exist. Oh yeah. It would lead to various problems if it went public. Yeah, they didn't exist, right? I had started the procedures to have the baby registered, but they were not complete at that time. It was a very unfortunate time for the baby to die. So, the servant who fell was treated as having died alone in an accident? Natsuhi wouldn't talk to anyone. It would have been easy to set up. But that baby was alive, wasn't it? Correct. Of course, the child was gravely injured. It was a miracle that it survived that wound. If the angle had been slightly different, or if Genji-san had been any slower in carrying the baby to me, that baby only managed to survive thanks to a series of miracles. I had given up. I didn't believe the baby could have survived that. But it did. How strong and resilient is life. It really is. No, this is fate. Fate. So the baby was fated to live on and eventually accomplish something great? Yes. I did think it was fate. I thought the blood of the Kuadorian Beatrice-sama, whose life ended on Rakunjima, must have imparted something onto this child to make it survive. However, Genji did not tell his master Kinzo that the child had survived. He simply said that it had fallen to its death in an unfortunate accident. Kinzo mourned, but his mourning was more one of madness than of sorrow. Oh, Beatrice, why have you run away from me once more? Why, even though I swore I'd never make the same mistake again? Why? There was one matter in which Genji did not trust the master he so respected. That matter was whether Kinzo would be capable of accepting Beatrice's grandchild as her grandchild. Genji had served the Kuadorian Beatrice for many years as well. He was very aware of what she had felt He knew that she had accepted the favor Kinzo had bestowed on her and respected him as a father. However, her love was not the same as Kinzo's love. Kinzo thought her to be Beatrice reborn, and tried to use her to satisfy the many feelings he had felt for the late Beatrice. Of course, the Kuodorian Beatrice could not accept those feelings. In the end, she had her chastity stolen by the one she thought of as her only family and respected as father. She thought he was her father, and he thought she was his wife. Oh, what an inconceivable, forbidden love. This is not to say that I was incapable of understanding how Kinzo-sama felt. At the moment of her birth, even he did not plan on taking advantage of her, due to her resemblance to the raped Beatrice-sama. He even spoke to me about it a few times when we were drinking. I always thought he was just joking. Was he surprised to find that the daughter grew to look more and more like the mother? As the daughter grew, did he suffer from a forbidden emotion he couldn't suppress? I thought that he might commit the same mistake again. That was my view. Beatrice-sama suffered much, and yet she never truly understood the difference between her feelings and Kinzo's. Beatrice-sama consulted me many times, laying bare her deepest feelings. However, I was unable to tell her. That would be hard to say. Imagine telling her that the one she respects as a father wants to use her as a replacement for her dead mother. Let me say this for the sake of Kinzo-san's honor. He also suffered greatly. It pained him when he found that he could no longer think of his daughter as a daughter. I told him to love her as a father. I think Kinzo-san followed his logic and his conscience and fought for quite some time. Kinzo loved her. He poured his affection onto the daughter that Beatrice had left behind. He did so as a father. And yet, if so, why did he give the daughter the same name as the mother? Yes, Kinzo's sin started from the moment she received life. She was born, and Beatrice died. He passed the name down from mother to daughter. From the moment of her birth, Kinzo had already decided that she was Beatrice reborn. So then we get Leon. Kinzo trying to atone for his sin, tried to make Leon a proper member of the Ushimiya family. I think there is where I'll stop for the day. Oh, Leon. Owen is significant. I can't place why. But yeah, that'll be it for today. We've been all over the place, man. And still, this makes sense. It's nothing really new. It's kind of, yeah. Well, it is and it isn't. That this new Leon is a servant. It's of interest, but get it. I don't get it. I'll figure it out. Maybe. Too many red herrings to sort through. Too many magical multiple jumbles sitting around. I'll figure it out. Or at the very least, I'll plod along until I can't figure it out no more. Yeah. See you later, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you later. Have a good one. Everybody's crazy in this story. Everyone's just all whack job somewhere.